Hey there everyone, Melissa Jakes with John L. Scott Real Estate, and this week on Cruisin' Columbia County, we are going to be going on Broker Tour. So Broker Tour allows us agents to go on tours and preview homes. And with me today, I've got Riley Cronin, Debbie Carpenter, Linda Bolen, Peggy Howell, Hannah Jobin, and Alex Mercado. Let's go on, guys. See the first house. All right, so Debbie, where are we headed to first?
We're headed to 846 Matzen Street.
And whose listing is it?
Linda Bolen's.
Fabulous. Now, I know that you have been the person that talks about this best with the National Association of Realtor lawsuit. The buyer representation agreement is a new thing that we have to do. Can you explain how it's not as scary and complicated as people are making it out to be?
Yeah, well, you just have to look at it. We've always traditionally had the contract with the seller. So why has it taken us so long to get the contract with the buyer? Because with the contract to the seller, we're outlining our job, what we're going to do for them. So with the buyer, we probably do more with the buyer than we do for a seller, to be honest. So it is important to let them know that, you know, we're professionals. We do not work for free, but we justify what we're doing for them for that part of the commission. Traditionally, the seller has paid both the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. Now, instead of just one contract, there's going to be two contracts. Typically, really nothing has changed. It's just we've had to break down who is doing what and what part of the commission is being paid out to the selling agent and to the buyer's agent. And then, two, for us, it's going to make them more committed. So we're not they're not bouncing back and forth from one agent to another agent. And, you know, since people find who they're going to, you know, you're going to cut that out, aren't you? What I'm trying to say is typically when we go to list a house, it's a job interview.
Yep.
And there's been one or two agents and, you know, the seller has to find who's going to be the best fit for them. So on the reverse side, this is what is the buyer is going to find who the right fit is.
Well, and you hosted an open house recently, and you had that came up a couple times. And what was like the general feeling after you talked to the potential buyers about it? They seemed, I think you said they're like, oh, that makes sense.
Well, because in the media, it was kind of taken out of context. There was a lot of false information out there. You know, oh, the commission is not negotiable, and the seller isn't going to pay a commission. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the case. The only thing that's really changed is we cannot advertise what we're paying out for the buyer in the multiple listing service. Right. So that's the only thing that's really changed. We
pretty much have to have a paper or contract signed saying we can open the door for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that's our job.
Yep.
You know, just like a doctor, heart surgeon or whatever. How many pieces of paper do you sign when you go in for heart surgery or, you know, just, you know, your doctor's office? It boils down to professionalism, and I think it's a good thing for the industry.
For sure. Well, and so totally change the subject here. How many times have you been going on Broker Tour? And like, it's really the Columbia County Board of Realtors. We're the experts for this area. We put together a tour, but you've been doing this for a while. How many tours do you think you've gone on? A lot?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Well, and you brought up something very important. I just recently went on a listing appointment, and it's a rural property, and the owners did not want to work. They were not happy with the agent that they bought the house through. He was an agent, not in the area. This property has a well, it has a septic. It just has certain challenges that you don't find when you're in the metro area. And so they definitely wanted an agent that was in this area and that knew the area. So that was a big plus.
Definitely. Well, what do you think the benefits are on top of just being able to like meet and talk to other agents, not necessarily just at John L. Scott, but like what other benefits do you think there are from taking tours? Like, I mean, for potential buyers, because we get to see properties as soon as they hit the market, but I feel like sometimes previewing them is a really good thing. We get to know and be educated about those specific listings. Can you think of other beneficial reasons for doing these?
Well, just like when you meet other realtors that are out on property tour and you get to talking with them, they may have something that isn't quite ready to hit the market yet. And so it's like, oh my gosh, I have a person for that property. Can you let me know when it's about ready? And you can have the first crack at it. And that's what you do for your buyers.
And just to reiterate, that's why you choose local agents, because we have those relationships. But all right, we're just getting ready to get parked and get able to tour the first house on Matzen. All right, and we're here at 846 Matzen Street in St. Helens, Oregon. Again, this is Linda Bolen with John L. Scott, so a fellow agent's listing. Let's go inside and take a look. We've got a one-level ranch-style home, and we'll just go ahead and take a tour and see what's inside.
We're getting out of the way of the camera.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, he would probably
So,
to move.
you've got a nice floor plan. You've got bedrooms off to one side. You've got a living room and dining room on the other. And then this is going to be the owner's suite. So walk-in closet, walk-in shower, which is great. Double vanity, huge plus. And then just a ton of space. The flow is really nice and open in here. It's great. And then we'll just go and look at these other couple of bedrooms in here. Got a bathroom off the hall. Nice, they're using this as an office, but a great space here. And I like that it's got a front yard view of like the garden. They have it very well manicured, which curb appeal is huge. And then guest bedroom. And this is a queen size bed. So this is a pretty generous size room to be able to have this in here. Again, views of the front yard, which look amazing.
Check out the backyard.
Oh yeah, let's go look. And this is Linda Bolen. So
Hi.
she is the listing agent on this.
Hi there.
And what can you tell us about the property?
1,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Beautiful backyard. Got to check out the backyard.
Good, yeah. So we head there next.
And the garage.
The garage is amazing too. Okay. So should we go through the kitchen or
Yes,
this
to
way?
the kitchen.
Okay. Are these granite countertops?
And there's a pantry.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's a deceptive. It's good. That's huge. Let me show it in there.
Go the other way.
And then I like that you have the pass-through with the laundry. And there's its own sink, which is incredible too. Another benefit, just a little added extra. And then a generous 2-car garage, tons of storage. Holy cow, this might be one of the most organized garages I've seen. And I like that the floor is finished. Sometimes homeowners forget to do that. But let's check out that backyard next. All right. So we'll cut through a family room. And then,
power to the shed.
oh, there's power out there. Holy smokes.
They're coming out here.
Oh my gosh. So you've got raised flower beds, beautiful lawn. And I like that you have the covered, and then you also have,
Blueberries around the back.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. I can't grow anything for the life of me. Jeez. And there's a side yard to it. It looks like that she said she's got blueberries in. Oh yeah, that looks great. And what a convenient way to kind of keep it away from animals if you wanted. You could do other raised plants or beds. And then let's check out the shop that has that power associated with it too. Holy cow, abundance of flowers, beautifully well-maintained property. And I think here you could actually probably park. There's a boat or RV parking on the side of the house in the front of the gate, which is great. You've got this extra area, maybe add a hot tub if you get a little crazy. And then this is a cool little shop here that is actually deceptively bigger than you think. It's a great, great location for any kind of crafts you want to do. You can make it a she shed if you wanted to change the look of it. But that wraps up this house on 846 Matzen Street. Let's go on to the next. See you later. All right. Hannah, where are we headed to next?
We are headed to 59024 Glacier Avenue, and it is Gloria Praska's listing. Did
Perfect.
I say her name right?
You did.
Oh, good.
You
Okay.
did. So now that you're in the hot seat,
Yeah.
can you tell me, when people are wondering, do I find the right house first to buy and then list my house, or do I decide to list my house and then find the house? What's your recommendation for people when those kind of situations where they already own a home and they're ready to buy their next home?
I would say, if they already own their home and they are looking for another house to list, then it's best to just talk to your agent and see, if you can afford the 2 mortgages at once while your house is still on the market, or if it's going to be contingent with you needing to sell your house before you can afford to buy another house. So it's really going to be a case-by-case situation, and your realtor will be able to help you navigate that.
Yeah, and I think some of that too depends on the market. Like if it's a hot market, in order to be more negotiable and more appealing to potential sellers, you probably want to have your house already listed, because if you don't, then it makes it so that you have to get your house market ready, get photos, get it live. So depending on the market, which is why Hannah said talk to the local market expert, because that way we're able to help you determine, is it better to identify that property first or list first and then decide to buy the house. When you go into listing appointments, what is your top 3 recommendations, or even top 1 or 2 recommendations that you give sellers when going through their home?
Number 1 would be minimize clutter. So if you have just a lot of knickknacks and things like that, or even seasonal decor, just kind of minimizing some of that type of stuff, to just my whole less is more type of advice is probably, people want to be able to visualize what it would be like for them to live in your house. And if you have a lot of photos and personal items and things on the walls and decor around the house, it can kind of
it gets weird.
It gets hard. Yeah, it gets weird too for some people. And so
you're trying to sit there and envision yourself in the house, and then you're looking at the family who lives in the house staring back at you with their family Christmas portrait. It gets awkward.
Yeah, and I would also say, your agent will have a long list of things that can helpful tips to kind of help get you photo ready, putting toilet seats down or turning on lights before the photographer comes, and also removing the hose from the outside of the house, doing some yard maintenance maybe. So
the attention to detail.
Lots of attention to detail. And also I wanted to just reiterate, your local agent's connected to so many local contractors. And so if there's any maintenance or anything that you want to get done on your house before listing, then they would be a really great resource for you.
Absolutely. Okay. And having those connections gets you jumped up on the list too.
Yep.
All right, we've arrived at our next destination. Let's take a look. Thanks. Okay, and here we are at 59024 Glacier Avenue in St. Helens, Oregon. This is listed by Susan Wright and Gloria Praska, also both with John L. Scott. Let's take a tour. All right. So we've got formal living room, beautiful wood floors, holy smokes. And I like the tall ceilings. Now I'm a short person, so these make it feel so much more grand, and just not small. It makes spaces feel big. All right. We've got Gloria here. Gloria, tell us about the house. How many? So kitchen. And then we've got granite countertops, quartz countertops, maybe? Quartz. All right. And then gas fireplace. We have a family room here, which is nice. It's got the gas fireplace, nice and cozy in here. And then let's take a look outside. Oop. There we go. So this is a deceptive backyard. I totally thought in listing photos that it was smaller than it is, but I like that it's kind of got this natural bench around that they put in. And then you've got this nice pergola and a huge, massive side yard, which is why corner lots tend to be a little more expensive when it comes to pricing. So it's beautiful on privacy, and again, very well manicured. Now let's go upstairs and take a look. All right. So upstairs, I like that they've got the laundry upstairs, but they also have this great landing. Sometimes you walk upstairs and they kind of just feel a little claustrophobic when you just walk right into a room. So I like that we've got a bedroom right next to the owner's suite, which is pretty cool. If you've got young kids or an office like they're using here, let's take a look at that owner's suite. Okay, so I bet you walk-in closet, which holy smokes is massive, and it goes way behind the door as well. And I like when you get the double layers like that because it really maximizes the capacity. And then in the primary bathroom suite, we've got a great garden tub, which is awesome for soaking, separate shower, walk-in shower, and a double vanity as well. Holy smokes. And then let's check out, there are 2 bedrooms up here. Again, this landing space just kind of sets it apart. Some people are like, maybe it's wasted square footage. I don't think so. I think it's a great spot and it just makes your house feel more grand. Continuing through the house, they've got these taller ceilings. Again, I'm 5'4", but I've got heels on and still it feels like a ton of headspace that just makes rooms feel larger. We've got a hallway closet, which is great. Don't you like the landing?
I love the
It's great.
Nice space storage.
And then again, laundry, which is fabulous. And this is probably the next largest bedroom as far as proximity and size to the owner's suite. So yeah, this is pretty amazing. Well, that wraps up the tour for this house on Glacier Avenue. We'll see you at the next house. All right, Alex, where to next?
We're going to 59385 Barr Avenue.
Perfect. Whose listing is it?
It's Beth Paschall.
Perfect. All right, so now that you're up for questioning, what do you think, because you're not local to the community, but you have worked out here for years now, why do you choose to come out to Columbia County? What makes it so special?
I think one of the biggest things for me was this community. There's diversity. There's also I think it was nice to have that comparison compared to like Beaverton and Portland and all the other areas. It's nice how there is a bigger sense of community here.
People are more friendly.
Yes, I feel like it's more friendly. I feel like a lot of people here just they know each other, and that's nice. That's something that's kind of hard to see in other communities.
Definitely. Well, here's a totally off the subject question. Do you feel like being bilingual drastically helps your career? Because I know I'm jealous that I can't speak a second language because I feel like it opens so many doors for you, but it makes you more accessible, right? Yeah. How do you think that helps and benefits you?
I think the nice part is being able to, just kind of meet new people, whether they are, English or Spanish speaking. I think that's a huge benefit. I love meeting new people. I like interacting with them. I like, I like knowing their stories. So being able to speak, both, 2 languages is nice. And I think the biggest benefit for me is that I get to help more people. I think for me, that's my end goal.
Yeah.
And so even, talking to people that speak Spanish or English and, you kind of talk to them about their dreams and their goals and, what they're trying to achieve. And it's nice to see that, regardless of what language we speak, we, are all going, towards that same goal of, getting a home, and achieving that, home ownership, which is really nice. So being able to speak Spanish and, help the Latino or Hispanic community is a huge benefit. And I'm, very much honored that I am able to do that for the community. So.
For sure. It definitely helps the John L. Scott team be stronger that we have you as a resource too. Like hugely, tremendously. All right, we're pulling up to the next house. Let's go in and take a tour. All right, we have arrived at 59385 Barr Avenue in St. Helens as well. Now, this is Beth Paschall's listing, and it is huge. We've got 3-car garage, incredible, and this amazing walk-around porch that we're gonna check out first. Come on. So something growing up that my mom always wanted was a porch swing, and this house has one, which is absolutely adorable, super cute, and you could watch your kids play on the street or talk to neighbors, and then you can actually access the backyard from this side as well. Pretty awesome. Now let's go inside, meet Beth, and ask a couple questions about this house. All right. So this house, again, is centrally located in St. Helens. It has got a great convenient location to downtown St. Helens and all of that. Behind this front door, we actually have an office. So you can also use it as a guest bedroom. They have an ensuite, I think half bathroom or full bath that, holy smokes, goes all the way around to another hallway and family room. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, I think we've got a garage through this door. Let's check out the 3-car garage. Why not? You've got a built-in shop, drawers and everything here. And holy smokes, that is an inlay. So you could probably pull in an RV if it's not too high, have a huge workshop for somebody if you like to be creative. Something else I'm learning about is insulated garage doors, which these appear to be. So that energy efficient cost, kind of amazing. Let's go in and see if we can find Beth in this huge house. And there she is. We have found her. Beth is not wanting to be on camera. She's hiding from us. But this is her listing. So everybody, meet Beth Paschall.
Hi. Welcome.
Tell us about this house.
Oh gosh. Well, I'll start by saying that I have lived in the neighborhood just around the corner for about 24 years. And this is a standout. It's my favorite.
Everybody drives by it in that porch.
Even over my own, yes. And my family, my mother's from the South, so I really love the big porch and the porch swing. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
With a massive pantry, I see. Holy cow.
Walk-in pantry, yes.
Can I turn on the light? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Does it have central vac?
Yes.
Oh man, central vac. I like that you have the electrical panel out here. So if it goes out, you're not going to be creeped out in the night to try to go hunt it down in the garage.
Yes.
And then big eat-in kitchen right off the family room.
Have you looked at the backyard?
We have not. Let's go through. Take a look.
They have landscapers coming every 2 weeks.
That's how they get it looking so nice. Oh my gosh, it goes way far back. Holy smokes.
Back there.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, is it in a flood zone? No?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, cool. So that's kind of fun. You have it. It doesn't impact the house. The house definitely sits higher too. So this is kind of cool. And I think any kid's kind of like play dream. And it has a path, again, going all the way around the house for convenience. So this is pretty awesome. Well, let's go inside and look upstairs as well. All right, so upstairs, what do we have here? Behind door number 1, we have a large bedroom with its own walk-in closet. And I like that this window is a bay window. So it sits out, it's just as beautiful. And it brings in so much natural light. That is something that sold me on my existing home, is the amount of natural light it is. Because in Oregon, it's a little dreary most of the year. So having that time, there are those windows that allow so much space in, holy cow. This room, can we talk about man cave, play space, whatever you could possibly imagine, home theater, it's massive. And you have a few access points. So these are great for accessing for the, it might even be storage behind a couple of the doors. But it also can have like insulation and things. Looks like they have it with some sheets of wood, plywood out. So you can store stuff in there, which is great. This house does not lack storage. All right, what are we going to find next? Upstairs laundry, again, a favorite of mine, so I don't have to chuck laundry down. And then we have another closet, a water closet or bathroom. And so that's off the hall there. A nice long bedroom. And I like this room has a place specifically to put the bed. Sometimes you walk in and you're like, where in the heck am I going to put it with a window? But this house, it clearly states where it is. Again, so much natural light coming through. And then I suspect that this is going to be, the owner's suite. Very, very grand. We've got the tray ceilings, massive walk-in closet again. So we have a few walk-in closets. This thing you could have another bedroom in. This is crazy. It just keeps going and going and going. It's huge. Built-in ironing board, I suspect, behind this bad boy. Just for curious, yep. And then let's check out that owner's suite bathroom. I like the double doors too. Just gives it that grand feel. So huge soaking tub. And then a walk-in shower. I like that they have this custom pillar here. It just makes it seem more fancy. And the stained glass windows, which are great for privacy. Well, let's wrap up the tour in the heart of the home, which I think not is the kitchen, but the living room. See you downstairs. All right, last but not least, my favorite place to socialize. I love the art chair. One of my favorites. Super tall ceilings again, and they've got crown molding. You've got this beautiful bay window, looks at the porch. The overhang of the porch doesn't make it feel dark in here whatsoever. But to me, this is where you socialize, make memories, play games, set up Christmas trees. This house is pretty awesome. It's huge. Again, 3-car garage, wraparound porch with a porch swing. What else could you want? Well, we'll see you at the next house and see what you think. Mr. Cronin, where is it that we're headed next?
We are going to 56925 Walker Road in Scappoose.
Perfect. And is it, I know it's a John L. Scott agent. Whose is it?
It's Mick Taylor. And the cool thing about all the listings we've seen so far today have been John L. Scott agents.
To say that we dominate this market is, we have a lot of agents that are in this area, so we get a lot of listings through all of us, which is a huge part of why I'm part of John L. Scott. But we also have some other amazing agents that work at other agencies in the community as well that are just as knowledgeable about the community. But of course, we want you to choose us to list your house.
Shameless sales plug.
Shameless. So, Riley, what when you talk to a buyer and they're like kind of teetering, like, should I buy? Should I wait to buy? When's the right time to buy? What do you tell them?
The right time to buy is when it's right for you. Timing the market is a losing game usually. Most people I've talked to that try to time the market wish they would have bought when they were ready.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not ready financially, emotionally to own a home, don't do it. Right. If you are ready, do it now. I don't think it makes sense to try to time the market. It's like trying to time the stock market. It's a losing game.
Well, what do they say about when rates are lower? Typically, you get more buyers. So guess what happens? House prices, they go up.
Well, especially in Columbia County, right? We do have a limited inventory.
Right.
You know, it's not unlimited out here. So when rates go down, you know, buyers' payments stay the same, right? And what they can afford, which causes the home prices to go up.
Right. Well, and so what advice, like, say, for example, I'm somebody that I'm a first-time home buyer. I'm like, where do I start the process? Like, what do I do? I'm kind of dabbling with the idea. I'm tired of paying rent. My landlord's thinking they might sell their house. What do you recommend for a buyer to do?
Call me.
Okay.
Oh,
Obviously
no.
call you. But I mean, outside of that, like, definitely finding an agent. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then getting on the same page with a lender.
Yep.
Right. You know, that way you have an idea and you can start dealing in reality when it comes to the numbers on what you can and can't afford, what you're comfortable spending, how much money
monthly
you can put
payments.
down.
Yeah,
Correct.
you don't want to be house poor. It's not fun.
Yeah, as an agent, I really try to stay away from the money conversation until they've had the lender conversation.
Right. And we have, I mean, I'm sure you have your preferred lenders. I know I have mine, but a ton of programs that the Oregon offers, lenders that charge less fees and have better rates, but they may have, you know, programs that aren't as ideal, or vice versa. You may have a couple of like Oregon bond programs for something like Guild Mortgage offers.
Yeah.
What you have preferred lenders. What's important to you about referring people to your referred lenders? Why is that important to have that, you know, team unity, I guess, if you would?
Communication, I think, more than anything else. When the lender and the agent are on the same page, it makes the process so much smoother. And I've never met a single buyer that does not want a smooth sales process, right, when they're purchasing a home. So having a lender and an agent being on the same page on what you're comfortable affording and what to show,
right.
It works wonders.
Do you think it helps in negotiating when you like write an offer and we have that pre-approval? Do you think having a specific lender helps in cases?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You know, when we're hosting listings and we get an offer, most agents will call the lender to see where you're at in the process on the lending side. So that'll make your offer stronger if you have a lender that is seen favorably.
Yeah, and like that communicates well, works hard, answers their phone. You know, sometimes you get bigger companies, they may have slightly better rates or slightly lower fees, but if they're impossible to communicate with, that doesn't make an agent feel, or sellers feel good about having, you know, reassurances that the house is going to close on time.
Yeah,
right?
And if things need to change in the process, which happens all the time, if the lender doesn't communicate, the listing agent does not want to be as flexible, right? So you need to have a lender that's willing to do that. Absolutely. Absolutely you do. I mean, because sometimes financing falls through right before the very end. I had one recently that switched from USDA to FHA right before close, right? And if the lender didn't communicate with me, I don't know if myself and the client listing the home would have been comfortable making the switch. We might have went back to the market.
Do you think, like, what is the biggest misconception that buyers have right now? Like, just from your experience, this doesn't mean everybody has the same thing, but we all have our kind of unique things that are like, oh yeah, buyers repeatedly do this with me. What is that thing, the biggest misconception that you think buyers have right now?
Well, for me personally, and this might be different than a lot of objections that agents are getting, but I'm not sure I can afford a home often, right?
Yeah.
So I have a few first-time home buyers I've worked with this year that started the process thinking that they were years down the line before being able to move forward on something, that were all able to move forward. We got with the right lender, they were able to look at their finances and realize that they could actually go now instead of waiting.
Isn't it weird how there's some people that they just are intimidated by the process, which is why it's important to find an agent that you feel comfortable with, a lender you can feel comfortable with, because it seems like it's such an intimidating process, and it is stressful, but with the right team, it's so much more feasible, you know, and people are able to like grasp it and get their homes and the keys to their houses. And like the uncertainty of renting, right? You never know if your rent's going to increase or if you're going to have to move because they're selling the house, or I find that is a big thing too. I feel like down payments, right? People sometimes have the misconception of what down payments they need to have.
Yeah, that happens often, right? And you know, when you mention intimidating, it's just like when you do anything for the first time and you don't know what you're doing, the natural reaction emotionally is to feel like you're not capable of doing it, right?
Right.
And you know, the down payment things that people hear, you know, you hear 20% get thrown around a lot, and yeah, that is an important number to know, right? But it's not a required number by any means.
No, I mean, you've got 0% down payment, 0% down payments, 3.5%, 3%, 5%. A lot of it depends on your income and the loan type that people want to end up in.
Yep.
You know, and then with that, there's different types of loans that sometimes are more appealing or for sellers and sometimes less, depending on different restrictions, but totally
which
a different
brings
subject.
us back to having a good, you know, relationship with the lenders, right?
Exactly.
So we have a lot of the local lenders that are very, very qualified and know what they're doing in the area here in Columbia County. We're pretty spoiled.
We are. We have a very, very good network of lenders that we collaborate a lot with them on hosting first-time homebuyer classes or just talking to them and like seriously troubleshooting, because for whatever reason I'm unlucky and I get weird transactions. I always end up having to like work strongly with the lender and figure out how are we going to make this work, because like we had a transaction similar to that it was just inspections were hard. So having that relationship that you and I had, and then we had a good lender we were working with, and then we had all the contractors like Hannah talked about earlier, that we were able to make the deal happen at the end of the day, get my client moved, your client moved in. It was, I mean, it's that kind of stuff that's important of who you choose to represent you, I think.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned inspections. You know, I think that's one of the biggest reasons to choose to work with an agent, right? Even if you have gone through the buying process before, you know, 3 out of my last 4 closings have had over $25,000 in inspection. And I'm talking serious things, you know, wrong
Septic
with the house,
failing.
right? Yeah, septic failure, right, was one of them, absolutely. And when you look at the big picture, having a proper inspection done, right? And there's a lot of great inspectors, but having a proper inspection done under the guise of knowing what's actually important, because every home's going to have 100 little things, right? Everything will. It's figuring out what are the things that are actually going to cost us money and what we can and can't live without.
Well, and I've heard some agents, not anybody that's a local agent to Columbia County, but other areas, or just even on some of our Facebook pages, be like, oh, that inspector was too rough. I feel like I would rather have an inspector that calls everything out and defers to the professionals, like electricians, plumbers, septic inspectors. Call it out, figure out everything that's wrong, because for the sellers, it helps alleviate some of those liabilities if the buyer is aware of what they're purchasing.
Yeah, it's the inspector's job to bring to the attention anything and everything that could potentially be wrong with the house. Yeah. And it's the licensed professional's job to actually give you the diagnosis of what's wrong.
Exactly. Well, and I think too on the buyer side, it's not like it's a car where you're like, oh yeah, it's, you know, a few $1,000, $20,000, $30,000 these days. Yeah. It's, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you want to know what's under the hood. Yeah, you want to know the big, bad, and the ugly of every home, because if you don't, then you find out in the worst season, like me, I always buy houses that have furnaces that crap out. But I knew that they were at the end of their life. So at least I knew that and I was prepared, because not being prepared when you're a homeowner sucks.
Yeah, it allows you to make an informed decision, right?
Right.
Because some homes are still absolutely worth buying with some minor with some minor difficulties, right? Maybe the price is really good, or the home provides everything else that's on a buyer's wish list, right?
Yep.
But it's a going in with eyes wide open that is vital.
And that's where the professionals get to negotiate what we do address, don't address, and help guide and talk to the experts for the things that come up on the inspection, to say, yes, this is something we should ask for. We should investigate this definitely. Or, you know what, it's not as big of a deal as we thought.
Yeah.
But I think we're just arriving here to our next destination. So let's get unbuckled and check it out. Okay, guys, so we are at 56925 Walker Road in Scappoose, Oregon. Now, I'm going to do something a little different. On this house, it is a manufactured home. It's very, very original on the inside, which is kind of fun. Some people love it. But the main thing I want to focus on is this amazing outdoor space. So we've got tons of decking, right? You've got an outdoor kitchen, multiple shops, and mainly, I want you to hear how quiet it is. There's nothing out here. You could have Ewoks running around in the trees and the brush and not even know it. It is so secluded and private, which many times when people get home from working in the city or just doing whatever it is that they want to do, they have a hard time wanting just to kind of turn off and tune out. So I want to just take a gander. The two shops here, look at all the beautiful greenery. This house has a metal roof on it, which is really, really ideal for Oregon. So yeah, I cannot get over the serenity and peaceful feeling that you have out here. You've got a little open meadow. It sits on a few acres too. So yeah, again, just so, so peaceful. Well, let's head out to the next house on this tour. All right, and here we are at our last showing today. So it is 33530 Church Road in Warren, Oregon. So this house is a manufactured home. It's built in 2022, which is pretty amazing, and it sits on 2.67 acres. The one thing I love about manufactured homes is that they have a great layout. They tend to split the primary bedroom with the other bedrooms for the kids or the rest of the family. Let's go ahead and look over in the primary. Something that's desirable about Warren is its proximity to Portland. So being out here is kind of awesome, and it's a commodity. This room is huge. You could have a sitting room, an office at home. You've got great high ceilings, a fabulous ensuite with a separate garden soaking tub. I like the garden tubs better than jetted tubs simply because they tend not to leak. And then you've got the walk-in shower, double vanity as well. Now let's check out the kitchen and the other bedrooms. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath place. And then I'm going to show you outside. So these guys have lots of animals, chickens, goats, and it really allows you to do what you want with the land. Absolutely love the colors of these cabinets. They are pretty amazing. Also, it looks like we've got a pantry over here. Let's take a look. Sure enough, yeah, pantry to store all the goodies. All right. And I like this open living space where you can have a formal like living room space. Again, Christmas tree, whatever you want, but then also the place to watch the game or just a movie. So we've got a hall bathroom as well. 1 bedroom here. Ooh, and it's got a black light in there. Definitely, I think some teenagers live here. And these ceilings, I cannot get over these ceilings. They're incredible. I mean, just so dang tall. And a walk-in closet in a bedroom. I love when you have these extra spaces. You can even put potentially dressers in there, which is kind of amazing because it opens up space for in here. All right, let's go ahead and look at these other 2 rooms and then head outside. All right. And again, I bet you we have another walk-in closet behind here. Sure enough, we do. That's amazing. My daughters would have loved that growing up. Instead, they didn't. They got the ones that always come off the hinges. All right, so let's go outside and see what else this property has to offer. Now, outbuildings are super, super great to have. So you can store things, you can grow things, you can, have your getaway from the house space. But this is why you buy property, especially in Warren. You have flat, usable land. So out here, we've got a detached garage type shop space. We have another huge shop over here, garden area if you wanted to, and then you've got for chickens, and then on the backfield, you've got goats. Now, again, this is why you buy Warren. You've got all of this space. Well, that takes over our episode for Cruising Columbia County. Thank you for joining me on this tour, and thanks for all the agents for letting me pick your brain. Until next time.